So here, A is 3, define fun. A is 2, x equals x plus A, return x, and then print A, fun 3. Okay, so I'm sorry to tell you that I made a mistake here as well. These should be indented. Okay, so without the indentation, the correct answer would be E, but that's probably not what the question wanted. Okay, so let's say we indented 3, 4, and 5. Maybe it was what it was. Okay, well, if on the exam you don't see the proper indentation, the correct answer is error is produced. Okay, just make sure that you know that. Okay, and then for the if the indentation was correctly done, let's see. Fun. You have you're printing this whatever that x is. Set A as 2. 2 and x is added, stored as x, and then you printed x. Okay. So first, when you print A, what will be printed? No. Why not 2? Instead of 2, what would be printed? 3. Why? Because A equals to 2 is a local variable. We talked about that at the end of the review last time, right? And A equals 3 is the global variable, and since in line number 5 we returned, so 2 through 5 is a function where A only is A only holds its value inside 2 through 5. Once you exit the function, now this A will be the global A, so 3 will be printed, okay? And then what about the fun 3? Well, 3 goes in there, 2 and 3 is added, and now x is 5, so 5 is printed. So correct answer is A. Is that good? Yeah. So this, I ended last review talking about global and local variables, and number 20 is a question about the local and global. Okay. All right. So 21 through 23 is about class and how class methods are, how classes are instantiated, and also how class functions behave. Okay. So you have some class dog. We had some similar example program in class, right? And the question is, which of the following is the correct way to instantiate the above dog class with name Sparky, breed Dachshund, and country US? Okay. And because the order is name, breed, and country, right? You would do Sparky, Dachshund, and US. But the thing is, first of all, self shouldn't be in there because, so B and D are no-no, okay? The reason that you shouldn't be putting self, even though this has self in there, is that every method defined in the class behaves a bit differently from a function. Functions, if you look at functions, they have number of parameters. It can be one parameter or many different parameters, but when you run it, you have to provide the same number of parameters as the function has. If this is x comma y and you only give 3, that's going to be an error, right? If it's x comma y, you must provide 3 and then another number so that this can be executed. On the other hand, methods by default always takes the object itself, whatever the object instantiated is, sends it into the first parameter as the first parameter of the method. So, and usually we call that self. You can name this as me rather than self, and you can also write it as me.name equals to name, me.breed is equal to breed. That's still fine, but you have to make sure that what you're getting in the very first argument or the parameter is the object itself. Okay, so when you call it, you already think of this first argument being plugged in by the object itself, right? When you see, and therefore you should only provide the next parameters only. You can't provide this one, right? So B and D are not true. It should be A, C, and E. And the three other questions have to do with the difference between usual parameter and key value parameter. So sometimes you can have an optional parameter if you want to put in. And it works like you set a keyword equal to something, and you usually write that as a default value. Okay? And when you call it, you have to call it with that keyword. Okay? So you want country to be US. Yeah. If you don't put this country to be US and just put dash in the Sparky and close the parenthesis, the function will still run, but the value of the country will be UK. That's the role of this optional keyword parameter. Okay? It's sometimes handy because sometimes you make a function and you know that in most use cases you don't need to provide the country, and this software will be mainly used in UK, so this will be kept as it is. Okay? But occasionally you might have to handle some foreign dogs, and you have to change that, and that's when you would use this keyword. So the correct answer for this is C. E is not correct because name equals to Sparky treats the first one as if this is a keyword value parameter, but it's not. It's not. It's just simply a value that should be passed, not as a keyword equals to value. Is that okay? Right. Yes.
Did you say self couldn't be?
So the answer is C. Yeah. D is wrong. Self. B and D are wrong because self shouldn't be there. Yes.
Why does it not matter that the 3 and the name are in reverse order?
Oh, just a minute. Ah, you're right. So this is. You're right. Let's see. Name should be okay. All right, let me try to copy this and see what happens. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but so class dog. Okay. Oh. Class dog. Okay, good. I don't know why that happened. Define init self name breed and then country equals to UK, right? And then we'll just have something like self dot name equals to name, self dot breed equals to breed, and then self dot country equals to country. And then define oof bark, okay, self, and then print. What was it? Just woof. Yeah. Okay. So woof, and then print. Let's put an F string. The dog says, "Hi, my name is," then self dot name. Okay, and then close this. All right. So that's the instantiation of dog. So let's say Sparky equals to dog. Let's see if this one works. So if I have Sparky and dash unit and then US. Does this work? Oh, it does work. Okay. So I'm sorry. My explanation was wrong. Okay. So you could call the keyword value pair without the keyword if it's in the correct position. So let me see. Let me show you how you use this. You can also use it like this. That's still fine. But would this work? I don't think this works. Yeah. So, so the key for the keyword argument, you have the freedom to choose keyword equal to a value or just the value itself. Okay. And if you ask what's Sparky's Sparky dot country, you will see that it correctly got the U.S. Right? Sorry, I should really execute this and look. Yeah, so it correctly instantiates as U.S. Let's make sure. Right. Okay. Thank you. Right. So actually, keyword argument can be called without the keyword, just like this, as a positional argument, but the reverse is not true. So A is okay because the keyword argument is being used without the keyword. E is not okay because the positional argument is being called with the keyword. That's not okay. C is almost correct, but as you pointed out, Dashend and Sparky has been switched. All right, so A is correct. I'm sorry. Okay. All right, 22. If Sparky is an object instantiated from the class dog, which of the following prints the breed of Sparky? Okay. So what do you think is the answer? A, B, C, D. Okay, first, is breed a method or a variable? Huh? It's a class variable, right? So do you put parentheses for methods or variables? Methods. But since it's not a method, it must be either A or B, right? Okay. Now, which do you think should be correct, A or B? Take a guess. A. A is the correct one because Sparky is the one that's instantiated from the dog with the breed Dashend. Okay? If you do this, it's not going to know what to do. If you do dog.breed, it will say the object dog has no attribute breed because it's not instantiated. However, if you do instantiate it, then it will be able to say what it is. So you can take this instantiated dog and then ask what its breed is. That's going to tell that correctly it's Dashend. Right? So that's the difference. Okay, which is the correct statement to execute the method bark? So this bark thing, how do you make it bark? All right, first of all, does it need a parenthesis or not? It's a method, so it does, right? Yeah, it does. So it's B or C or D, okay? Now, for the method, the very first argument is what? Automatically the object itself, okay? So when you do Sparky.bark without anything, when this gets executed, what it does is it looks for this function and plugs into that function the Sparky itself. The Sparky goes into the bark. That's what happens, right? So that's why when you do this, even if I didn't pass anything to it, Sparky became one of the parameters, and it read off the Sparky.name to correctly say this. Okay, I forgot a closing quote, but it's okay, right? So you get the point, right? So the correct answer is correct answer here. A, B, C, D is B. Yes. Okay. Now I have a few questions where it's just put put things in there, and it's because some of these commands are so useful that it's good for you to actually memorize them. So one is knowing how to open a text file and put all the information into a list. And you do it by looping over the file and reading line by line and appending those lines into the content, right? Now, what's the command that should be before open? Yeah, with, yeah, it's with. With open as F, okay? Now, you could do it slightly differently. Before, in early Python, it used to be like F equals to open something something, but then afterwards, once you read it, you had to close it. If you don't close it, then it could cause some problems with the operating system, such as like that file won't be readable from other software because it's not closed. See, when many software can access the same file, it can lead to file corruption. So the rule is that you only allow files to be opened by one software at a time. Sometimes some other software get around that practice, but it's a bit complicated. Usually what happens is one file should be opened by only one software. So if Python opens a software, opens a file, then other softwares cannot open that file and write over it. And the way you make it happen is by using this open. Okay? If you open it, it's off limits to other software while it's open, and only after you close it, it will be accessible from other programs. Now, this with open something as F, what it does is it creates a block where in this block, the state of this file is in open mode, but then once the block is done, if this is executed, it will automatically close it. And that's why you need a block for the with open statement. So please remember that you need with open, the file name is F, and like this. And you actually, I'm actually requiring you to memorize every one of these things. So I could have with in there, but I might have this append one or content.append to be blank. You should know that. Or I might have this one as F as blank, and you have to figure out what to do there. Okay. But for the time being, for this question with WITH, that is the answer to this question. All right. What about this one? Let's see. The above code calculates the total sum of all numbers in the list numbers. For this code to work, what should go into this blank? Okay, so you need 51, 43, 5, and 98 to be added to the total, and you have to print total. What should go into line number 4? Can you guess? Yes? Oh, okay. So, all right. So what you say is correct, but not what I intended. So, if you have L equals to say 51, I forgot the numbers, but let's say something like this, okay? And you can do sum of L, and it certainly gives you 198. And of course, if you do total equals to sum, let's see. Let's try this. Total equals to, okay, so let's say total equals to 0 for L item in L. Total equals to sum of L, and then you can print total. And this totally works. It does give you 198. But what I had in mind was to add these items to the total one by one. So, so if you do item, total plus item, and you store that. So every time this loop is executed, you're adding the item, and then you print the total. That would work. Another equally valid answer would be plus equals. But I haven't thought about your answer using the sum. So if I saw that while grading, I would be forced to give you full credit because it's correct. It does give you the 198. So I should make something slightly harder than it. So what if, let's change this question a little bit. What if the question was instead, find the sum of all the sum of double of every number. So take the twice of each number and add it to the total. And I want the total. No, that doesn't make sense. Let's do this. Remember what mod is, right? So find the remainder of each number mod 7 and add up the remainders. Something like this. How would that work? So let's see. Numbers. Let me copy this now. This is 51, 43, 598. 51, 43, 598. And total equal to 0 for a number in numbers. Okay, total plus equals 2. What do I want to add? I want a remainder after division by 7. What does that? What's that operator? Remainder after division by a number. Mod, right? It's the percent operator, right? So you have to do number percent 7, and then you print total, and that's going to print 7. I guess 51. 51. 49 is the highest number before 51 that's divisible by 7. So this is 2 is the remainder after dividing by 7. 42 is divisible by 7, so 1 is the remainder. 5 itself is the remainder after dividing by 7, and 98 is actually divisible by 7. So it's 5 plus 1 plus 3. No, 5 plus 1 plus 2. 2 plus 1 plus 5. So it's going to be 8. All right. So my point is that you have to know some really simple ways of accumulating numbers, something like this. So, so two things that you definitely need to know is how to append to a list and how to accumulate quantities. That'll be one of the short answers. Okay. All right, so this concludes the